Hey guys, what's up? Welcome back to today's episode of Intuitive Angling, and really appreciate you guys swinging by the channel to hang out with me for a little bit. Always appreciate that. Hey guys, today we're going to be giving tips and advice on how to handle fish once you catch them, as far as how to land those fish, how to safely unhook them, how to, if you want to take a picture of them, just in general fish handling care, which will ensure that when you release that fish, he'll be in good shape to be caught again another day. So we're going to get into that in today's episode. Also, guys, just a quick reminder, you guys probably heard me talking about it last week. Tackle Warehouse has got their big summer kickoff sale going on. Got a bunch of good deals on fishing lures and products and raincoats and everything you need for your fishing. If you guys are interested in that, I'll put my Tackle Warehouse link in the description. And if you use that link and bookmark it, it's a good way to support Intuitive Angling here. And me and my family really appreciate that. Thanks a lot. Okay guys, I see this a lot, and that's one of my big pet peeves in bass fishing is to see people improperly handle fish. Now there's a couple different reasons for that, I think. I think a lot of people just don't know any better. They're not really sure how to handle it, and a lot of people just don't care. One of the most disturbing and sad things that I see in fishing, especially amongst tournament anglers, is they don't have a lot of respect for the bass. They treat bass as some thing, some inanimate object excuse me, that is basically there for their pleasure and doesn't have any place on this planet other than serving them to give them a good time catching a fish. I don't have any respect for that at all. Bass have just as much right to be on this planet as we do, and we need to honor and respect those fish like we do every other creature on this planet. So that's sort of my position on that. So I want to give you a couple different tips and advice here. First of all, let's talk about some common mistakes that people make when they land a fish. Now, the worst thing you can do as far as landing a fish, just swing it over the boat and let it fall on the boat on the carpet or on the floor of the boat. This damages the slime coat, it knocks scales off the fish, it makes the fish more susceptible to getting some type of infection. So if you do swing a fish over the boat, which it's okay to swing a fish over the boat that's not too big, never let it touch the floor. Now I know sometimes, we all miss it and we make a mistake, like we try to swing it over to land the fish and something flops off, comes off the hook. That's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about the people that when they swing that fish over the boat, they intentionally drop it in the floor of the boat, usually do a fist pump, like that's what I'm talking about, just all this ego driven type activity after they catch a fish. So never let that fish touch the carpet of the boat. If you swing a fish over, and in my opinion, never swing a fish over that is so big that you cannot catch it in the air. So if you swing a fish over the boat and say you swing it over like that, you need to be able to catch that fish before it hits the floor of the boat. So yeah, if you're fishing 25-pound or 50-pound braid and you're flipping and you set the hook and you want to swing a 4-pounder over, sometimes you can do that on that equipment, but you got to catch that fish. But in my opinion, I don't like to swing over anything that's over 2 pounds, because if you pull out a 2-pound plus fish, the mass of the fish is so heavy that it puts too much stress and too much weight on their gills. It's actually bad for the fish. So my recommendation, guys, if you hook a fish that's over 2 pounds, just reach down there and lip the fish. It's not a big deal. You don't have to swing everything over. I think swinging over, jacking these fish and swinging them over the boat, much of it's motivated by ego more than anything else, especially amongst the younger anglers, the more aggressive anglers out there. It's all ego driven. If you catch a fish, get it to the boat, reach down there and belly land it, or just lip it in. And if it's a large fish, once you get it in the boat, guys, make sure that you support the fish by the tail and the head both. If you got a 6 or 7 or 8 pound fish, try to avoid holding it up as much as possible. If you want to take a picture with it, real quick, hold it like that, but don't sit there and carry it around the boat and show everybody just holding it by its lip. Puts too much pressure on the fish, on a large fish. So try to support the weight of it with its belly like that. It makes a big difference. Also, I'm not a big fan of landing nets. I think landing nets also remove the slime coat of the fish. I think that causes some undue, problems to it. I'm just a big advocate of, lipping that fish. Another thing with that is don't play a fish out until it's absolutely exhausted. I don't mean you have to just reel it to the boat as fast as you can, but try to put as much pressure on that fish to try to keep the fight to a minimum I think that the faster you can get that fish into the boat and get it back into the water, the less stress it's going to have. Don't sit there and try to walk it around the boat where it's just like laying on its side. I think that's a big problem with it too. But main thing, guys, is with fish care, as far as landing fish, just avoid any contact with the slime coat or the scales on your boat. Just try to be gentle with them. Just try to be respectful for them, and try to do everything that you can to ensure that that fish can be released alive and caught another day. And the more care that you take with them, the more that's going to ensure that. If everybody would do that, I think we'd have a lot better fishery, especially sustainability wise. And if you're one of those guys out there that don't feel that you need to have respect for the fish, or don't respect for the fish, or you jack them and swing them over the boat and let them flop around on the carpet out there, you need to reevaluate your viewpoint on fishing, and you need to be taught the right way and the respectful way to handle and deal with fishing out there. Because every one of us, we're fortunate to be able to do this. This is not anything that's like given to us, or we're not entitled to it. It's a right that everybody has. It's a privilege, and do not abuse that privilege. Take care of those fish and make sure the next generation can have them to enjoy like we do. So hope it helps out, guys. We'll talk later.